Welcome back, everyone. With graduation just around the corner, we wanted to take a moment to congratulate some of the seniors who've been a part of Rocky Mountain student media. These talented people have not only inspired us in journalism, but they left their marks on our hearts.
And what better way to tribute them than to prepare them 2 3-course meals in this special collaboration between Gideon and I. We competed to see who could make a meal that is one to remember. Brace yourselves because we are about to heat up the kitchen. Hey everyone, I'm Julie.
And I'm Gideon.
Today we're going to both be making 3-course meals as a senior send-off for our seniors here at CTV and Rocky Mountain Student Media.
Our guests today are going to be our entertainment director, Naomi Hilmer, our sports director, Brandon Cruz, and the collegiate photography director and former CTV Cooks host, Tri Yung.
So for my 3-course meal, I'm going to be making Filipino egg rolls, lo mein and fried rice, and a Filipino dessert called turon, which is made with bananas, brown sugar, and egg roll wrappers.
I'll be making carne asada tacos, my grandpa's ribs, along with bread pudding with a special sauce.
So we have roughly 2 hours before all of our judges get here, so let's just jump right into it. With only 2 hours for the both of us, Gideon immediately jumped into preparing his tacos. He started off with chopping his bell peppers, poblano peppers, and onions and tossed them into a bowl before cooking the meat. Meanwhile, on my side of the kitchen, I was preparing the egg roll filling. I diced up some carrots and onions before throwing them in with my ground beef and massaging it to incorporate everything. I seasoned it with salt and pepper before starting with filling my egg rolls and rolling them up. I set them off to the side until the judges came in. I wanted to fry them right before serving so that they were fresh. We checked up on Gideon, who seemed to be doing just fine. He was cutting up his meat and frying his peppers and steak all together. By the time we both got to our entrees, we'd already killed about an hour of our time. Lucky for Gideon, his entree was already pretty much done. He was serving his grandpa's ribs, which he already made by the time we arrived for filming. That left me scrambling to make my entree, shrimp fried rice. Traditionally, it's better to be made with day-old rice, but I forgot to cook my rice the day before. I was certainly starting to feel the heat. Our judges had started to arrive, and I still wasn't even close to finishing their entree and starting on their dessert. By the time I finished, it was around 6:20, 20 minutes after they were supposed to arrive. For the dessert, Gideon was able to get a head start once again. While I was working on my fried rice, he was cutting up his bread for the bread pudding and creating the main mixture for his bread to soak in. By the time I was finished with my fried rice, he was making his Grandma Evelyn's white sauce to serve with his bread pudding. On the bright side, my dessert didn't need very much preparation. Turon is a simple dessert made with bananas, mangoes, brown sugar, and wrapped up in an egg roll. It was pretty quick to prepare and fry. My main issue for this dessert was timing when I scooped the ice cream. I, unfortunately, did not think this through, since I was very flustered by the time and how long our judges were waiting. While I was in a frenzy, some of my ice cream accidentally fell on the floor, and I didn't even consider the ice cream melting by the time I served them their dessert. Luckily, our 3 judges were very gracious in waiting, and we finally got to start serving them our 3-course meals. Unfortunately, since we served everything later than we intended, some of our meals were already cold, something that Tree wasn't shy about pointing out when reviewing our courses.
A few things to point out.
For our judging system, there was no strict criteria. We just had them pick which meal they liked better for each course.
I'm gonna have to go with this one. Because I really like the crunchy outside, and since the inside is already kind of like warm, it's a lot more warmer than the other meat from the tacos.
I'm gonna go with the tacos. I didn't mind that the meat was relatively cold. I liked the assortment of greens in the taco itself, so I would go with taco.
Yeah, this one was tough. I think they were both really, really good. I think I'm gonna have to go with these though, just because I did think they were a little bit more like that appetizer, and I just really liked the filling with like the little crunchy outside. That was really good. Personally, I might have to go with the fried rice, just because I'm not a huge ribs person, but the ribs were good. I did like the barbecue sauce, and then it was like a little bit different, and I really like the toast on the side. But this I could definitely see myself like eating when I'm at home.
I would choose the fried rice as well. The ribs were good, and I like the toast, as Naomi said. But it's more of like the one. It's easier to eat just because you just use a fork. I also really just like the variety in the rice. I've always loved like stir fry in general, so I would go with the fried rice.
And so for this one, I'm going to pick the ribs, is because I really like Gideon's practical way of spicing up the barbecue sauce, not just by itself, but putting the onions in there. That was an interesting flavor profile. And I think Gideon absolutely saved it with the toast. The other one just absorbs right into it, but I feel the flavor and the textures really mix well together. And this one, since the crunchiness of the wrap is enfolded within all the plantains, or the bananas, or the mangoes, that is just a nice touch along with the ice cream. It goes really well.
I actually kind of liked the difference in texture with Gideon's one. I liked the not crunchy, but that didn't mind me. I actually really like the cinnamon aspect of it. But Julie's did have ice cream, vanilla ice cream to be exact. Well, I loved the mango banana inside of it quite a bit, so I would go with Julie's this one.
Yeah, this was really difficult because I have had bread pudding. I've had that before, and I know I like it. I've never had this before, and it was really intriguing. It was really good. I really liked the mangoes inside of it. I'm a huge mango fan, which is probably part of the reason why it made me like it so much. But yeah, they were both really good. They were both a good dessert, and neither of them were extremely sweet. I'm not a huge sweet tooth, so that made me kind of happy. I know I've been sticking with a lot of Julie's dishes this time, but I did really enjoy this. I do think I have to go with this one, but yeah, you guys are both incredible little chefs, though, and all the food was amazing.
In the end, regardless of who won, Gideon and I were just happy that Naomi, Tree, and Brandon enjoyed all of our meals.
Cooking for some of the seniors within our department was an absolute blast. And while we're on the subject of our seniors, let's not forget to give a special shout out to my co-host, Julie Baltazar. She is a graphics wizard, and she slays the game every single day. And shout out to all of our other seniors who work on our shows. Your work does not go unnoticed.
Thank you, Gideon. Before I get a little emotional here, we have one more final segment to get to. It is time to travel to India and try some snacks that are similar to the U.S. We will see you after the break.